These things are there, the garden and the tree, the serpent at its root, the fruit of gold, the woman in the shadow of the boughs, the running water and the grassy space. They are and were there, at the old world's rim, in the Hesperidian grove. The fruit glowed golden on eternal boughs, and there the dragon-laden crisped his jeweled crest, scraped a gold claw, and sharped a silver tooth, and dozed and waited through eternity, until the tricksy hero, Heracles, came to his dispossession and the theft. Randolph Henry Ashe, from The Garden of Proserpina, 1816, and welcome to the Gothic Bohemian Salon. This is Julie Winter, and this is one of the books I read once a year. The name of the book is Possession, a Romance by A.S. Byatt. Possession is a fascinating book written in two time periods. One, basically the current day, and the other part of the story takes place in the 1860s. A young researcher is looking through an old that belonged to the Victorian poet that he researches, Randolph Henry Ashe, and he finds a mysterious letter written in Ashe's own hand, which seems to be full of a kind of passion and excitement that he hasn't ever seen before in Ashe's letters or writing. He's so consumed with curiosity about who the mysterious person that the letter is addressed to, who that person is, that he takes the letter, he steals the letter from the British Library, and goes on a search to find out who the lady is that Randolph Henry Ashe has gotten so bothered about, basically. It is a romance in many ways. The modern day story is kind of a modern romance, and the Victorian story is more of a Victorian romance, with all of the sorrow and tragedy that Victorian romances often have. It's a fascinating book. It takes a little bit to get into it. It took me a couple of tries to get through the first 100 pages when I first read it many, many years ago, but now I find it to be one of the most rewarding reading experiences. Part of the book is told in letter form, which is fascinating to read. Writers of the letters, Randolph Henry Ashe and the mystery lady, who I won't, spoil for you by telling you who it is. The letters are so different in tone and personality and effect and everything that it really feels like two very different people wrote them. And both of the individuals are poets, and their poetry is also in the book. And the poetry is some of the most beautiful poetry I've ever read, actually. Some of the most interesting, alluring poetry, even of real Victorian writers. It has inspired me many, many times in many different ways. It's just a joy to read. It's not written like a normal mystery, really, at all. It's very different. I wouldn't say it's a standard mystery in any way. It does have. It's a beautiful book. It's written beautifully, and it really takes you far, far away to this this romance, to this wonderful romance and this mystery. So I do highly recommend the book. It's probably my favorite book next to Perfume, The Story of a Murderer, which is my other top favorite book. And I do read it once a year. and this has been Books That I Read Once a Year in the Gothic Bohemian Salon. Thank you so much for joining me, and remember, embrace the darkness.